Hey folks, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas for VegasInsider.com. And lo and behold, we finally made it to a major. And the best golfers in the world are heading west. And they're going to be playing at TPC Harding Park. And this is a great golf course that staged WGC events, President's Cups in the past. And boy, oh boy, if this past week the WGC event was any indication, we could have a wild shootout at the end of this one. What a great tournament this past week. Justin Thomas gets a couple of incredible breaks late in the tournament. To his credit, he took advantage. And then you had guys that faltered. Todd faltered. Ricky Fowler falters again. Even a guy like Tom Lewis had a real chance to win the thing. But Brooks Koepka was right there knocking on the door. And he couldn't come through on a par 5 and hit it in the water in 18. But look out for Brooks Koepka. He's won 4 of the last 8 majors played. He's trying to do something that Walter Hagen last did in the roaring 20s. Hagen won 4 PGA Championships in a row. Koepka is going for his 3rd consecutive, and he is the co-favorite with Justin Thompson at 10-1. These guys could be in a shootout again this next weekend. By the way, wearing the Masters hat, and that's coming down the road. So we're excited about golf majors. We still have the U.S. Open. Unfortunately, the British Open was canceled this year. World number 1, Jon Rahm, 14-1. Obviously has an opportunity to make a lot of noise in here. Rory McIlroy, again, can step up to the plate on the big stage, but his form has just been a little bit sketchy, running a little hot and cold in and out. Tiger Woods returns for the first time really, since February, other than the one appearance we had at the Memorial where he finished 40th. But he takes off this past week, says it was in his best interest to work on his game. And Woods has won WGC events here in the past, albeit it was quite a while ago. But by the way, how about Justin Thomas? 13 career PGA Tour wins at age 27. He is just making an incredible resume for himself. And by the way, he's a former PGA champion as well. Some of the other guys of note, you run through Patrick Cantlay, 25-1. Xander Schauffele had an 8 on a par 4. Other than that, he had a really good weekend this past week in Memphis. But, boy, take that one hole out of the mix. Schauffele, I think, can contend again. Tommy Fleetwood, I think, is a guy whose game steps up in majors at 50-1. Maybe one of the top European players you could look at, along with a Ty Hatton at 50-1. Matthew Fitzpatrick looked really good. His putter let him down late, but he was in contention deep on the back 9. At the FedEx Cup, or FedEx Invitational in Memphis this past week in the WGC event. In fact, I've long had a future on Fitzpatrick for the Masters. Matthew Fitzpatrick, he's still looking for his first win in North America, but he's getting really close. How about the course? Harding Park, 7,234 yards. It's a par 70. So don't forget, when you get a par 70, that means only a couple of par 5s, which doesn't, really give that big advantage to the Bombers necessarily. DeChambeau was just lighting up the world, hitting it a million miles, but his wedge play starting to get a little bit sketchy, and he seems to be tailing off a little bit. I tell you, bomb play out there, Michael Thompson, about 120-1. The guy's in really good form, and you want an X factor. That would be Adam Scott, who we just haven't seen since the pandemic hit. And don't forget, in the spring, Adam Scott's game was really resurgent. At 60-1, a guy that's just kind of out of sight, out of mind is Adam Scott. Of course, he's a former Masters champion. Could be a nice play at an overlay price for you. But I tell you what, I think Koepka there's just something about this guy, and we know the knee, he had it wrapped this week, but all of a sudden he gets his game back, and it's a major, and he just has nerves of steel, and in a weird way, coming up just short this past week, could even give him a little spur in his spikes and motivate him to win again in a major. Very hard to discount Koepka. 10-1, the price not that juicy. I think the bomb plays Michael Thompson, and I think that you can take a look at the flyer with a guy like Adam Scott. But it should be an enthralling event. It's a major matchup opportunities throughout. Really love the fact we're getting a major in the West Coast, little primetime golf for the folks on the East Coast. Great wagering opportunities. All the sportsbook directors here in Vegas are saying they're betting golf through the roof. And now we're lined up for the PGA, the U.S. Open, and the Masters in the not-too-distant future. And oh, by the way, the FedEx Cup playoffs as well. Great time for golf. Good on them. Finding a way to soldier on and make it through during this pandemic. And things are really, really going to heat up here in the next little bit. And it all gets started at Harding Park with the first major of 2020 coming up this week. Always a treat to be with you right here at VegasInsider.com. I'm Brian Blessing in Las Vegas.